the 6th chapter and 7th verse. So, Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavitvishavavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we know him, the effulgent one, who is the supreme, great Lord of the Lords, him who is the supreme God of the gods, the ruler of the rulers, who is higher than the high, who is the Lord of the worlds and who is worshipful. This is generally the way, in every religion is saying, my God is the God of gods and the God of the angels and gods of the saints and gods of this and gods. What happens is when we look at this world, we try to see, if we really think, we would like to see where's this has emerged from. And then we see, okay, we emerged from one source. And then what's that? Where's that emerged from? And then you keep on trying to understand you by your antecedents. Or you can say, what has preceded you, rather, sorry, is your precedence, yeah. What came before you, whether this is subconscious or no, well, that's the way the mind is structured. We always try to note a thing by referring first to its surroundings, the present, as well as the past. That's the best way to, understand it. Well, did your father do like this? You're doing like that? No. There you are. You're breaking traditions, huh? That's the way, and science is nothing but partly this. By understanding what came before this phenomena, it can predict what will come after. Oh, there's a kind of a eclipse today. So really, how did you know? Well, they have been observing and observing and observing and observing. They got it right. There. It's so the mind works. Why? Because the mind without knowledge will simply will go poof. It needs knowledge. It cannot live in a vacuum. If all your senses and everything is closed, that is, you cannot get anything coming in from the external world in your mind, it will start ruminating on what you have done and all the old memories. It just cannot stay without doing something. It's always seeking for knowledge. That is really amazing. Now, what is this knowledge? Well, the world, if you see this world, you see the world is like, oh, this is what is the world. Okay, this. But there's another way of looking at it. These are objects of knowledge. And what I have is instruments of knowledge. The senses are instruments of knowledge. So what is common? Knowledge. It's just knowledge. These it's like the five sensory organs and the five motor organs, all whatever it is, the sense objects. This is just objects of knowledge. The whole world is throwing its you can say, knowledge or information in the mind. There's another way also of looking at it. Every particle of light, that's the smallest, the photon, is information. All energy is information. Everything. And now we know we have these smartphones and this and that. And hey, how did you get all these things? Yeah, it's nothing but information. So
Misinformation.
endless information,
And misinformation.
misinformed, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's all zero one zero one zero. It's a digital, binary 0 1 0 1 0, and it has created this whole world. This world of computers has been built on the binary 0 1, just switches on off on off on off. There, and what's that? Impulses of light, just on off switches. So everything, whatever comes in your brain, is a stimulus energy, and that stimulus energy technically is information. Information about the size, the color, the taste, the smell. Imagine if my mind couldn't do that. Well, it is said that there is something called confabulation. That is, I see a particular thing, not very distinctly, but my mind supplies the additional information. Oh, yes. At a certain length, objects are stabilized. They may appear a little smaller if it is gone a little further away. Or if you come a little closer, the size appears different. But at one level, at one distance, all size of objects are stabilized. You do not appear big or small. The brain is contributing to that. Well, there was an experiment, sometime back, not sometime back, many years back. They gave a pair of glasses to a group of people. Now, when you wear the glasses, everything looks upside down. Uh, and it was very difficult for them to maneuver, saying, oh, it's just simple uh, lenses. Then, after a few hours, the brain corrected. The glasses are on, the world is appearing to the eyes as everything inverted, but the brain writes it. Yes, there it is. So it has a mind of its own. Why I'm trying to tell you is this, because it can't live with something distorted or something wrong. It needs something to hold on to. There. Now, when we see, we are searching for the very sequence of things, what you are and what you were. You see what I was, and now what I am.
Yeah.
I saw you sometimes get, you can say, depressed looking at your own self sometimes. What was I? What a stupid person. I'm wiser now. If only I was like this 20 years or 30 years ago, I would have been better. But knowledge is increasing. Your knowledge has increased over the years, over and over. There is no time, there is no age, there's nothing. We grow wiser. Really, we grow wiser. Why? Because we are pulling in more and more and more and more. So as we keep on finding the connections, this and that and everything, Now, when you want to know about a reality, what is the reality? It has to be transcending this known world. It has to be transcended because we know, however good our knowledge is, this knowledge is subject to mutations. Like there was a time when we were very young, there was something called the typewriters. And then they came the electric typewriters. Wow, look at this. And now, where are all those things? It's all gone. What has knowledge has kept on increasing and has discarded certain things. So we need to have a knowledge which is immutable, which will not be subject to the changes of past, present, and future. What is that? That is that supreme knowledge of knowledge. And that's the reason why they say knowledge and reality is one. That is what is. So the one of the you can say the names of reality, the consciousness, existence, consciousness, and bliss. You have to have knowledge, and that knowledge is existence or reality. There you are. You cannot have that knowledge subject to any influence of time, space, matter, whatever. So this is why how do we explain the transcendent, the absolute? Well, through language. And how do you explain this to language? Well, he's the Lord, but he's the Lord. That is the Lord of Lords and God of gods and ruler of rulers. Oh, like you have these governors and then you have the president, Just joking.
Thank you.
It's just no, in the sense I'm just showing the categories. Okay. So this guy here is all powerful. Yes, the sun god and the rain god and the wind god and this god and that god. They in their own spheres they are really powerful. And then you say, "I'm the god of gods." That is, there is one who is called the god of gods, Indra. Hey, I'm the god of gods. Oh yes, I'm sorry. We shouldn't stub your toe. You shouldn't stub your toe on us. Ah, okay. And then someone else comes. Hey, I am that big boss here. So, they're always the demonic forces and the divine forces are always in conflict. One time the divine forces triumph. Ah, there we are. And all the gods were so happy. And then they said, oh, victory belongs to us. I was responsible for the victory. So as the gods were celebrating, they see nothing. So the king of gods, see, you go and find out. Hey, god of wind, you go and find out who's that. And he goes, and he goes to that figure and saying, what are you? I'm the god of wind. What can you do? I can blow away anything. It takes a straw, throws it towards him, and blow this away. And the god of wind keeps on puffing and blowing and blowing. He couldn't. He went back. The king of God, Indra, asked him, what happened? Did you find out? No, there's something difficult. Then the god of fire, I'll go. Why? And he goes, oh, what are you? I'm the firstborn. And the god of fire can burn everything. I said, fine, burn this straw, piece of straw. And he tried to burn it, couldn't succeed. Came back, decided. Then it was Indra's turn. Hey, they say, urged him. No, all the gods tried. Urged, you go. You try to lord it over us now. Go and see what's that. So As he approaches that deity, it vanishes. And it was a big blow to his pride. At least that image spoke to the other gods. And he had never even spoke to me. It just disappeared. And in that very place, there was the power called the Divine Mother. She appeared. So very resplendent. Uma, Haimavati. So this king of gods, he goes and say, Mother, who is that being that you can? Well, that being is nothing but, you're saying, that highest reality. That is what actually won this war between the demons and us. It helped you. It was working through you. It is part of you. You did not recognize it. And so think this is why when we think I'm the God of God, Lord of God, but there is something working within you that is even greater than you. What is that? That is the reality. This is how they approach the reality like this. Yes, I can do many things, and a group of us can do even more. But what is that power through which we can accomplish all those things? This is that reality. This is that Brahman. So these sages say, we know him. Know him? What? Yes, we have realized that the effulgent one who is supreme, great Lord of the Lords, him who is the supreme God of the gods, the ruler of the rulers, who is higher than the high, that is Maya, who is the Lord of the worlds and who is worship. That is what you need to worship. And this in the Kena Upanishad. Kena is through what or who? What Upanishad or who Upanishad? It's seeking these questions, and it through a kind of a illustration they have taught us that even the gods cannot know this until unless the Divine Mother becomes beneficent. She gives knowledge. And that apparition that appeared, or the image that appeared, was the Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahman.
Hmm.
Ah, the Holy Mother says, no, Mother holds a key to the knowledge of Brahman. If when she opens the door, can you get this knowledge? So what do we do? Where do we run to? No, this place, that place? No. You first run to the Divine Mother. Oh, Mother, open this door. You are the keeper of this knowledge, supreme knowledge. So what happened? You become worshipful. The Divine Mother becomes worshipful. So that's why he's saying, I'll read the Sanskrit. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram Nam Paramatam Vidhama Videvam Bhuvanesha Idyam. Vidhama means we know that effulgent one. We know, we realize it. And that is what they're telling us. They don't, they have not conjectured. They don't say, maybe it's like that, or maybe it's not like that, or this like that. No, it is direct realization. This sage is trying to convey this this realization to us through this language. Hmm. Yeah, it's a nice one. So we have, uh, you know, Lord of the Lords and God of the God and ruler of the rulers. You know, there are various categories in Hinduism, in Vedanta. We have these patriarchs. We have these rulers, and above the rulers you have the gods, and above the gods we have some higher gods, and it's a kind of a. It's not a really a hierarchy. It's like just the grades of existence. Like from the lowest to the highest, there are various grades of existence. No, it's like no, mm, it's not just on. We exist on this plane. That's a mistake we always make. That we are alive, so we are existent, we are important. No, nothing like that. The ant also is as important as anything else because that has life, that has some intelligence. In fact, it has more intelligence than us. It's more organized than us. If you can see wonderfully they divide labor, divide all these things. Each one is given its work.
Get out of my kitchen.
So there is a system in their existence. Only in human beings, there is no, we break every rule.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But
That's a given.
there is a glory in that. Swami Vivekananda says, a cow doesn't tell lies, but it's only a cow. Man tells lies, and yet that man can become divine, can become God. All the forces of existence are evenly balanced in. There is the angel, there is a God, there is the animal, there is the ant, and there's the buffalo, and everything in the human being. That's why the human being is called a microcosm of this macrocosm. All the grades of existence are within this person. Now you know. You can attain the highest heaven by going there within you. You can get highest visions of all the angels and all the. If you want to have a vision of all the goblins, and you can do that also. Yes. So here you have a kind of microcosm there. So now who's greater now? The microcosm or the macrocosm? It's one. When the person realizes that the microcosm is the macrocosm. So all these various grades of beings that have been spoken of, they should be considered outside, but primarily it should be considered within. We are, you can say the result of all the planes of existing bisecting. Wonderful. That's why the human birth is the one of the greatest. It's very rare to get a birth. And now our population, human population, is keeping on increasing and increasing and increasing. May your tribes increase. Hi, the God. Oh, you see how things are going out of hand. But so many people have the opportunity to understand what they really are. Otherwise, we'll become like those homeless guys. We have just given up on things. Forget it. No, keep on holding on to knowledge. Once you understand this, we rise through knowledge. Nothing else. Not through money, not through name, not through fame, nothing. Just knowledge makes us noble. Yeah, makes us gods. Knowledge. So this knowledge of the Supreme Self, that within all the planes of existence is that supreme reality there, which is my real nature. Then I become satisfied. So we take the next verse, 8th, page 188. न तस्य कार्यं करणं च विद्यते न तत् समक्ष अभ्यधिकश्च दृश्यते परास्य शक्तिर् विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञान बलाक्रिया च. Well, Sanskrit is it's simple, but here you say uh, we use that instead of he. I mean, the translator has been it's an old translation that has neither a body nor any organ. None is seen to be either equal or superior to it. That supreme power is heard of as diverse indeed, and it consists of the spontaneous act of knowing and the act of control. Well, uh, after giving this reality as conditioned by other, you can say things like, referring one thing to another. I refer one thing. I know only through referring one thing with the other. That's the way I know. Oh, yes, otherwise it will be impossible to know everything. So that's the reason why they say knowledge is always uh, interlinked, networked. I know one thing, and then I will know another thing through this thing. There were there one Swami who was weird. This in one of our training sessions, I think, impromptu. You get up and speak about a particular subject. So we had more or less we had prepared what are the most likely topics that can be, our teacher could ask us to speak. So one Swami, not a Swami, he is not yet a Swami. We are young, actually that time. Future Swami, they say. So he had prepared a particular topic. And when he was asked, speak of topic A, and he had prepared a topic on B. There. Well, we egged him on, go. And then he started on the A, topic A. And then after a couple of sentences, came down to B. There. And then he kept on talking for 40 minutes there. And then at conclusion, came back to the A. That is how we actually know things. Well, after the previous mantra, God of gods and Lord of lords and ruler of rulers and this and that, and yeah, the whole thing is dismissed off. Once the sage has pinned that particular thing, the concept in our minds like that, now he has to do something about it. He'll pull the rug beneath that concept's feet, because you have to transcend all conceptions of the reality. Otherwise, just now you're saying the swamis are trying to box us in with what particular. I think you said it. What? Remember? He's not even. He's oblivious. So we are not trying to box anybody. We are trying to take you away from all conceptual frameworks. There's a frame, and you fill it up. It's wonderful, how we do it. Like we first conceptualize a particular thing, and then we fill it in with details. It's always like that. It's always we are doing a painting all the time. We see this, okay, this is and then I keep on looking at it and fill that frame with the detail. So what this sage is trying to do is, after he has given us a kind of a frame and we are about to fill in the details, wait. Take that out. What do you mean take it out? Take the frame out. What about the other frame? There is no another frame of reference. How do we know? Then there's a higher aspect of the mind that the sage is trying to let us know. Ordinarily, what happens is the process of logic is we understand, you know, the five or the three limbed syllogism. Hmm. But inductive, deductive reasoning, all these things we know. But there is a stage higher in the very mind itself, which the sage wants to push us into. Like, Swami Vivekananda gives the example, just a kind of a illustration. Suppose you visualize or imagine a circle. Okay, imagine a circle, and you see space within that circle. At the same time, the space outside the circle also is intuited. Your attention might be on the space within the circle, but it's obvious that there's a space outside the circle, outside the circumference of the circle. Right? So when we look at that space outside the circle, then we lose sight of the space within the circle. And that is what the sage wants us to do. Look at that higher space. And then he's saying, okay, fine, keep on expanding that circle. Keep on expanding. Expand it to infinity. Yet, you will find that the mind can conceive of a space beyond this. There. So this is what Vedanta tries to push you into. We're not trying to push you into a box. Okay. There. We're trying to get you outside the box. Otherwise, it will be like that Schrodinger's cat, I spoke of, yeah. Either it's dead or alive. You cannot say either one. It's both. It's dead as well as alive. Yes. How can it be? Yes. That's a paradox. That's the contradictory nature of this world. There's a particle and it behaves like a wave. And there's a wave that behaves like a particle. What is this world? Well, it is uncertainty. As Heisenberg says, it's all uncertainty, principle of uncertainty. And there it is. So even this world seems a kind of a paradoxical, we can state. Oh, what's that? So get beyond all parameters of knowledge and have pure intuition. Grasp that. And that is what Vedanta says. It is grasped by the pure intuition in your heart. And this is what he's saying. That has neither body nor in organs. None is seen to be equal or superior to him. We are talking about superior. He's superior to everything. And that has a body and there's no organs. How do we know? It's beyond all knowledge, all relative knowledge. That supreme power is heard to be of as diverse indeed. Yes, it's okay. It's okay to be. It's have the power that diversifies things. The moment you have this pen, yeah, fine. You give it in his hand and see what he does. He'll keep on scribbling
Or draw.
or draw. Obviously. Why? There is something that's making one many. That's the nature of the individual self. I simply cannot sit and just be alone by myself. I want to expand and expand and expand. I want to do this and I want to do that. I want to see this and I want to eat this and I want to say this. And I keep on spreading myself over and over and over a larger area. And this is how you can do it through knowledge, you can do it through action, you can do it through, we can say, poetry, or music, or dancing, or painting. You are expanding yourself. that power is saying it. The supreme power is heard of as diverse indeed. Yeah, and it's there within us, so it makes us diverse. Saying this person can be read like a book. Sorry, it's not like that. Very, very difficult to read a person like a book. Ah, there are plenty of books belonging to that person. It's not easy to understand a person. Oh, yeah. You think you do? No.
I think you do.
Oh, so why? Because we can't be contained in one locus or locality. We keep on diversifying, spreading about our influence all over the place. So that's why it's saying the power is heard of as diverse indeed, and it consists of the spontaneous act of knowing and the act of control. Well, uh, more like knowing. mm, Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriyacha. So wherever there's knowledge, jnana, there is strength. Atmane Vindati Virya. When you have knowledge, you become powerful. Oh yes, knowledge is power. Of course, they say power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Lord Acton says it's not that. It is the power of money and the power of what do other worldly powers. But spiritual, you can say, power is nothing but spiritual knowledge. That is spiritual wealth. So knowledge, jnana, bala, and when you are full of that knowledge, you spontaneously act. And the actions flow through knowledge. Like an expert, you can say, ballet dancer. She knows every move, she knows every note that's being played, and she knows, and that's through that knowledge she can dance. Yes, without that knowledge of that musical score, without the knowledge of what is dance, she will not be able to dance. So she is full of that knowledge, and through that knowledge she flows with that knowledge. That's what is called the flow, and that's what life should be. Should flow with that kind of spiritual knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna says that an expert dancer does not take a false step. Oh, yeah. So he had seen a kind of a. He had gone to a circus where he saw uh, an English woman. She was standing on the back of a horse. The horse was running around the circus ring at, at, at a breakneck speed, and she was jumping, leaping through those iron rings, which were kept a few yards from each other, and she used to land straight on the horse. So he's saying, "See how much she has practiced. My God, see." He was very delighted. See how much. Spiritual life is like that. You keep on working, 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 practicing, and then wow, there you become an expert. Then your life flows spontaneously. You will always do what is right, what is true, what is beneficial, what is blissful. So that is what it is. So we have the next verse also, ninth, is a kind of a reflection of this same, can say, subject matter. Page 189, chapter 6, verse 9, number 9. There is no ruler of him in this world, nor any controller, nor indeed there is any ground of inference with regard to him. He is the cause, the overlord of the lords of the organs, and there is none who is his procreator or even an overlord. That is, he is the first. I am the Alpha and the Omega. You say, yeah, in the Bible, it says, yeah, I'm the beginning, I'm the end, I'm everything. I'm in the middle also. There is no one else other than me. So here say, Natasya kaschit patirasti loke, nachesh ishita naivacha tasya lingam. So karana adipo na chasya kaschit janita na cha adipaha. So it doesn't matter. Just there's the same meaning that we cannot have two realities. That's what we'll have this and we'll have that. No. But then we are speaking about so many other realities, the gods of gods and there are other gods and all. Yes, but they are like, as I say, no, they're emanations of that one. This whole universe is an emanation of that one. Universe, yeah, yeah, including us. We are also emanations of that one. Yeah. So you're saying God is there and I am there separate. No, you are actually, in a way, part of God. So there we are. When we keep on thinking of ourselves as separate, then comes all the trouble. And Vedanta says, please don't bring your ideas of separateness regarding yourself and God. And it's all one. This is what the verse is saying. There is no ruler of him in this world, nor any controller, nor indeed is there any ground of inference with regard to him. So it's like na tasya lingam. Like when you see a fire on a hill, there's a forest fire, or there's a kind of the famous California fires in summer instead. So how do you know? You see of the smoke first, and then you infer that there's a fire. It's always lingam chinnam. So even this Shiva linga, it's called a Shiva linga. What's the Shiva linga? When you see that, you are reminded of that absolute one. It is just a symbol. It's just a stone symbol. It has nothing to do. Or you see just the tail end of a rattlesnake. It's a hole, and its tail is out there. Hey, there, that's a rattlesnake. How do you know? See the tail out there? Part of the tail still outside that hole. So when you see just a small part of it, you can infer the whole of it. So there is no ground of inference regarding the supreme reality. When you see one thing, we can refer to the other thing. Yeah, when you see this world, you can say yes. When you see this world, you can refer the creation and creator. That's the only thing we can do. But to say that there is something else, there is the creator and creation as one. We may say that at this level, yeah, when you see this world, creation, we can infer that there's a creator. Like Sri Ramakrishna says, when you see the magic, the magician is there present. Okay? And the whole audience erupts with amazement. And that magician, he smiles, he knows, he's delighted. He or she would. And the whole audience, wow, and they're clapping and feeling it. You have the magic, you have the magician. Both are inseparable. You can never have a magician which is not present. You'll have to have the magician on the stage. Where is the magic? It is established on the magician, or in the magician. You cannot have magic show without a magician. You cannot have creation without a creator. Well, fine. You can infer like that. But on the highest level, this creation and creator are one. It's like you cannot separate yourself from your body and mind. Okay, no, it's me. The same way God cannot be separated from His creation. This one. So there is no other creation you can compare that with this. So that's why he's saying, Na tasya lingam. And then he's saying, that is the cause, the overlord of the lords of the organs, etc., etc., everything. Finally, we stop here for today. We have a few more verses that we need to go through. It ends with 23. We have finished 9th and 10th, so 13 more verses. The next Upanishad, we can take an Upanishad. It's a very beautiful Upanishad called the Kata Upanishad. Kata Upanishad. Kata was a rishi. It's a story of that young lad who goes to the god of death, and then extracts from that god of death the secret of death. There, yeah, because that's he goes to the god of death and say there's this doubt. Some people say when a person dies, there's nothing remains, and some people say that there's something there. Now you are the god of death. You tell me. Say no, you don't know. You're a boy. You have to bother around with all these kind of things. You take some horses and golds and elephants and palaces and become a king and I'll give you a long life. I'll give you everything. Why do you have to bother about all these things? No, I've come for this. I'm going to ask this question. So, but then the teacher was very pleased. The god of death was very pleased. He was kind of testing him whether this guy is serious or not. So we can take the Kathopanishad. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, it's a book like this only. I think slightly smaller than that.
So they have it in you.
We'll have it in this sales counter. Yeah, sales. I'll tell our Mataji also that we need to get this. It's kind of patterned on the same line. You have the Sanskrit and your translation.
Okay.
Okay. Kata Upanishad. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. So we leave. Yeah, we did.